Step to the Phone. I am Crystal Pellicuer, and today I'm joined with another beautiful queen, Vanessa. Vanessa, thank you so much for joining me, and welcome to Step to the Phone.
Thank you. I love that. Love it.
Are you able to tell us a little bit about who you are and where you're based, what you do, and what?
Okay. Right. So, who am I? That's the big question, isn't it? No, but basically, on paper, I am Nia Beam Kubwa. My birth name is Vanessa, and where you say step to the throne, it's been a journey basically of going through that transition and with the names even. So I go by Vanessa at the moment, my birth name, and I was born in Bristol to parents of Caribbean descent, Jamaica, and I like to call myself now a creative. I'm a performer, I'm a singer, and that creativeness comes forth in lots of other ways as well. I'm also a supporting actor and basically a creative. And where am I now? I'm still based in Bristol. I live in Bristol. I have spent a couple of years in my teenage years in Jamaica, which was part of my stepping through to the throne, basically, as part of the journey. So yes, Bristol born and bred.
Yeah, amazing. And you are definitely a creative. It's not seriously, you are creative and an amazing one for all the people listening. Can you tell us a little bit about that change of name? What was the meaning behind the change and what the actual Nia means?
Okay, right. Well, so being born and raised in Bristol in England, away from Jamaica, away from our original place of, for people of color, Black people, Afrika, my influence has always been British and with an input from my parents. So there comes a point, I think, in everybody's life where they think, who am I? Where am I from? What is my heritage and all of that? So I went on a journey, basically, after asking those questions. And one of the names that I've always liked, having heard about Kwanzaa, the celebration, was Nia. And Nia means to purpose, which is to restore to one's former glory. So I took that name on after my second child was born. And then I came across the name Beam Kubwa, which means great lady. So purpose to restore to your former glory, which is a great lady, which I didn't feel I was. That was the journey that I went on. So I took that name on. And then in being able to stand up in the truth of who I am, having gone through that journey, there came a point where I was like, well, if my birth name is Vanessa, that was given, that was designed, I'm quite happy to stand in that and to reclaim my birth name, which it means butterfly, free, fluttering, beautiful, all of those things. And I go by, people call me both names now, and I answer to both. But it's that journey that I went on of transformation where I can actually reclaim the name that my parents gave to me, take that on again.
Wow, that is definitely fit for Step to the Fun because you go through, and the name, the Great Lady, that is just amazing. Definitely coming into your being and being the queen you are. Oh, amazing. That's kind of fitting to my next question, which is around, we every day we talk about I'm a queen, I'm a Black queen. And very often we lose completely the meaning behind it because we just use it like that. But I was quite interested to see how do you say that word means really? Does it mean something or it doesn't really mean? Do you use it? Do you say I'm a queen or you don't?
I go between queen and goddess. And I think they're both quite important words to use. It's all about being able to take responsibility for the choices and decisions that you make. And yes, as you said, people do just say, I'm a queen. But are you taking the responsibility to define the life that you want to live? And for me, it's about being authentic, because lots of times being, we're raised and we have all these expectations placed on us, external, and we're living up to those things and we think that we're doing okay. And a lot of people are probably not happy following that route of expectation. Yeah. There's something missing. But for me personally, it was about stripping all of that away. And that was part of stepping into the queendom and being true to myself. And I know that I've been doing that now for at least 4 years properly. And so I can use the word queen. And, I actually kind of looked up what queen meant. And there was 2 definitions. One was about a female ruler of an independent state. So we're independent people. I mean, we're all connected, but as an individual, it's about taking leadership of our lives. And then the other one is a chess piece on a board, isn't it? And that chess piece can move anywhere. That is the power on the board. And it's like when you can stand in your power and move through life, and even with the downfalls, you can still rise again and keep moving and learn from the mistakes. Then yes, you have every right to call yourself a queen, and yeah, that's what it means for me.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I think it's all about embracing our own power, our own being, and actually it does require courage, and that's where sometimes people are not really stepping into their own power because we're not taught, I guess, as a young child to this is what we need to do to move on through the world. Yeah, and it's moving, like you say, also with purpose, knowing and taking responsibility that this is a life I want to live and not just follow whatever people say. So yeah, totally agree with that. Is there any queens or inspirational women you've looked up to out there in the world, or maybe around your family, or around you, that you kind of really proud to say, oh, I've learned a lot from this woman, or they are inspirational?
Okay, wow. There are there's been a few actually on along the journey. I mean, you are one.
Well, thank you.
You are. I see, the things that you do, and the waves that you're making with even this project that you're doing, and that inspires me to be more true to myself and to aspire to just continue to be great. But people that have stood out in my life would be, she's a spiritual teacher, leader, Ilanya Van Zant. And I do believe that my journey is a very spiritual one. That's, where I feel most empowered. And she was the lady that when I decided to leave university, I was doing an applied biological science degree. I wanted to be smart. So that was the expectation, become a teacher in science. And that was the first point where I had to come back to look at who was I doing this for. So it was her book that I found that kind of, until today, she still helps me, from the talks and things that I see that she do. But then there also comes a point where you have to step away from that, because otherwise you can become dependent. So Ilanya Van Zandt, spiritual teacher. Maya Angelou, an amazing woman. She's multi-talented as well. And just the way, from conversations that I've seen she's had, interviews, and oh, my throat's going funny. What's that? So just to see the different things that she has done, when times were hard, how she used her creative skills, to get through situations. And she's had so many different titles, lots of titles, letters behind her name. But it's just, I've heard her say once, you think 50 is good, wait till you're 70. And so she was always looking, for experiencing more, embracing more of life. So she's one person that really inspires me. And my mother's a great lady. She's a creative as well. She didn't know her own good. She didn't know her own greatness. And so in looking at my mother, I can see everything that she wanted to be. And then it's helped me to make that move of being who I need to be in this world. Yeah. So those are the main three, including yourself.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm honored to know. I don't know what to say, but actually, you are one of my inspiration. I mean, every time I see you, you are always like full of grace, and you never, out of a lot of women around me at the moment, you're not afraid just to be you. And
it took a long time to get here.
and I really admire that. And I think it's really rare to see people being their authentic self nowadays. And yeah, it's really beautiful to see you. So that's also an inspiration for me. So you are one of them.
And it requires that you be vulnerable. That's another thing. It's like when people say queen or strong woman, it's that rigid kind of stern thing, and I'm going to get to. But for me, it's about being able to be pliable, adaptable, being able to be soft, because there's strength in being soft and being able. What I found is that being able to be in touch with your feelings, with your emotions, even the negative ones, there's strength in that, and being able to share that, knowing that nothing can harm you because you're okay with that.
Yeah, and definitely. And I think it's, for me, also on the journey of learning all this. And I think this year I've really took on to try to own my own story, the good and the bad, because this is just who I am. I would be the person I am today if it wasn't for the bad stories as well that happened in my life. And I think this is where the authenticity comes as well. You cannot just, oh no, that didn't happen to me.
It happened.
Just speak up. You
cannot own it.
And I think, like I said to you earlier, I think a lot of people learn from those what we call negative. They're not always negative, but we see them as such a bad thing.
If they're lessons.
Yeah, exactly.
There's lessons to learn.
And I think for me, those lessons have been more valuable than the good times in a way, because I would not have enjoyed this good time if I didn't.
Exactly.
This time where I was feeling down, or but yeah, I think everybody, in a way, I think as a queens, we are more willing to share our vulnerability than some of our brothers. Sometimes it's a bit easier, but it's part. But there's some brothers who are very willing to share the journey they've been on, which is also really beautiful. Right. Maybe you could share then what's your journey has been, kind of success, and how did you get to where you are to be able to embrace Vanessa? What has been the success, or maybe not what we call success, maybe lessons that you've learned along the way?
Wow. Okay. So it's like I said, it started out with who am I? Why am I here? And in that, I remember doing once a questionnaire when I started university, and it was to determine whether your reasons for being here was external or was it an internal one. Wow. And that's right at the beginning, I realized it was an external. And I kind of forced my way, trying to get through this degree. Did 2 years in, and actually ended up having panic attacks in my final year, to the point it just stopped me. It completely stopped me. And so it was a point of having to retreat. I went inward. And I locked down, I shut off from everybody, I switched off the phones, I got my book from Melania Van Zandt, I lit my candles, got my crystals. So that was the beginning of the journey. And then I came across a course in natural nutrition. And when I read the actual prospectus for that, and it was not just about nutrition, it was about our connection to the earth, to the planets, and how we fit within that. And so in addressing my nutritional needs, I found that I was also dealing with emotional stuff, because as I started to detox through being a guinea pig on that course for myself, lots of things came up. And so there were things I had to deal with. So that was part of the journey. And strip away lots of stuff that I've been taught, religion, culture, expectations, family expectations, and pulling that all back. So I have done so much work on myself, personal development. And then you get to a stage where everything's fine. It's like, this is all working. Yes, this is great. and then boom, something hits you, which is what happened to me.
Mm.
And then I felt for about 10 years, I was in a wilderness. Although I was doing life, I was getting on, I was working, you know, raising my children. Something just wasn't right. There was deep unhappiness. And that was the deepest, darkest place that I was in. But I kept up with my spiritual practice. I got in touch with my feelings, tried to understand them. And then, I don't know, about 5 years ago, after doing all this work, something said to me, I am not doing anything that I don't like anymore. If I don't enjoy it, I am not doing it. And I'd just taken on a job and I thought, okay, I'm going to do this job in retail, work my way up, I'll retire here. That's it. I'm not trying to fulfill any more needs or expectations. And then it was funny because 9 months later, I got passed up for promotion, passed over for promotion. And then that was another knock. But I think all of these lessons, it was that I was not where I was supposed to be. That was not where I was supposed to be, but I couldn't see that. I was like trying to push against it. And then I didn't know what job I was going to go and do. What was I going to leave? And, you know, I've got to live, I've got to eat and all. And it was about taking that step of faith. And I took that. I walked out of the job before the date for my leaving date was due. I walked out after being there an hour, and I've never looked back. And what opened up was the world of being a supporting actor. And I've always wanted to perform from a little girl, but it was not something that was, you know, pushed or encouraged. And so doing that now, I am the happiest person on the planet. And I mean, and this is where we talked about success. I'm not making bags of money, you know. I've had achievements. I met some really, you know, famous celebrities doing this. And it's just a joy to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and travel down a country road and see the sun rising in the morning. And I started singing again. Singing is a love of mine. So I started putting myself out there. And so it was about me just tapping into the things that bring me joy, not thinking about the money. And what I have found is that the doors have just been opening. They've just been opening. And I'm successful right now. No, I don't have my own home. I don't have a car. I don't have anything. But what I feel inside brings me more joy than anything else that the material world could bring.
Yeah, I mean, success is such a personal thing anyway, the definition. And I can relate so much of what you just said. I mean, stripping about what you've learned from your family, your religion. I've just been onto that journey trying to actually dissociate my own belief from my family or my upbringing. Belief has been quite a journey itself.
And it doesn't make it wrong, you know. It was right for whoever, you know, it's right for. But exactly. Being authentic and being true to yourself, you have to find what works for you. And I mean, there are elements of, you know, Christianity that I still embrace because I see the truth in that. In all of the other, in spirituality, in other religions, the basis of it is love at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know, so I extrapolate bits.
You know, I can relate. I mean, with the lockdown, one thing I've just decided last year is like, I am not doing anything that I don't enjoy. It's so that is one thing I'm like, you know, and I also kind of stepped out into the unknown at the moment. You know, even if just this project, I don't know where it's leading me, but I really enjoy speaking to people like you and listening to their stories, and I'm hoping that someone out there will listen, can relate to some of what all of you are saying about life. Because I think early on in my journey, I could hear other women who said, oh, this is the journey I've been on. And then suddenly you feel a bit less lonely. Yes. Questioning yourself is actually normal. It's not, it's not, you know, sometimes we start questioning ourselves and thinking, oh, what is wrong with me? Everybody else seems to be happy out there, but I'm just the only one who's just struggling. But actually, no, a lot of women out there are going for the same journey, but we don't share it.
Yeah.
And I think for me, part of the project was that to give an opportunity to other people to be able to know what other people are going through. And success is not just about having lots of money,
Yeah,
being
and climbing that ladder, you know, it's not just that.
yeah, and being having the fame and the fortune, but actually being able to find what you're passionate about, like your singing and your acting. And yeah, being able to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and feeling happy. I mean, that is just a sign of success in its own way. I think if you're
Exactly.
able to be together, but like so enjoyed what you're doing, you don't even think it's work. And I found that in a lot of the creative stuff I've done before, which I don't mind getting up in the middle of the night because I knew I was
Exactly.
going to have a good day.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I was going to ask you if you always knew that you wanted to be a singer. You mentioned a little bit that this the little girl you wanted to
Yeah.
be.
Well, I've always I come from a singing family. My mum and dad are singers. My brother's a musician, very musical family. There's a few academics in the family, but the majority of us are creatives. And I remember when I was 5 years old, it was a memory that came back to me in infant school. And we'd been put in the hall, you know, you get the playtime and they put all of the things out for you to create something. And I was just in a little corner by myself. And all I remember is making an outfit, 5 years old, made from a potato sack. They used to call it a crocus bag. And then I remember doing a performance to the rest of the class and having people clap. I don't remember what the performance was, but that was at 5 years old. And then that was a forgotten memory. And that came back to me. So when I sit now during this lockdown and all these things, I'm making all these things, you know, and creating, that's a memory that came back to me. And I was like, I am a performer. I do like to perform. I like the stage.
Yeah.
I love the stage. And the other thing is the stage is not just in an auditorium or, you know, in a concert hall. The stage is life. And wherever I go, all the jobs that I have done, it's the fact that I've connected with people on that stage and exchanged. And it's great when I hear people say, you know, something that you said inspired me to go on to do this. You know, I meet them years later. Or, you know, and it's that exchange that we have in life generally, not just based on our titles, you know, but just our connection with other people. So, yeah, I'm a performer and I love it. And I just love it. I love
And
it.
you're amazing at it. You are definitely one of the beautiful performer in Bristol, and
Thank
I
you.
always
Thank
enjoy watching you live. And I hope that we can see you live very soon too, because it's been a long
you.
time.
It has been too long, too long.
Yeah,
There were things lined up. I mean, but as I said, you know, with the lockdown, COVID, you know, really challenging time for people. Those things have not happened. I was even meant to perform on a Facebook live thing,
right.
and it just didn't work.
But
I couldn't get connected.
you've been very creative during lockdown because you started those mini series of um you are
Girl,
performing. And yeah, and I think that's light up so many people's life during lockdown.
I needed to put it somewhere. It was all of this energy just panting up inside me, and it just needed to go somewhere. So
Are you
yeah,
continuing the series? Are you continuing working on that?
this kind of in a roundabout way. I am. I've come up from that with the things that I've done. With a little project called Chichibodo Song and Story, because it's a cultural thing for me. It embraces a lot of things from Jamaica and things that my mum taught me. That's where my mum comes in, and you know the stories that she used to tell and songs she used to sing. So yes, I have kind of started a little project on that, and I'm working on that with my brother. It's not quite ready yet, and this is one of the things I realized with me. Sometimes I put things out too soon, and if I was to give anybody advice, and it's advice that has been given to me, sit with it. Sit with it, let it grow. And Ilanya Van Zandt, I was watching her the other day actually, and she said, when you become pregnant, when you conceive, you don't go start showing the baby inside your belly. You allow it the 9 months to grow. And that's one of the biggest lessons that I've learned, because when you keep putting things out there, it can kind of lose momentum, lose energy, and then you might have expectations. People have expectations of you. So sit with things and let them, mature and grow before I put it out there.
And
It's a
maybe
big
it's also
lesson for
about
me.
balance, because
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
sat quite a long time with my African Queen project. Way too long. I probably waited until I was 3 years pregnant to birth it.
But
So yeah,
everything, well, it might have, the pregnancy stage might have been 3 years for you. You know what I mean? It's all relative. It's all relative.
so yeah, it's the balance of
Yeah,
when you're
it
ready
is.
to come out.
Yeah, yeah.
um,
But that was a really brilliant time. I loved that burst of creativity during the lockdown last year. But now I've withdrawn. And that's again about balance. When you're giving out, you also have to give back to yourself. So it's a quiet time for me at the moment. Just reconnecting, re-evaluating. I'm about to start a vision board. That's another thing that we can
I've
do.
done mine this year. I've already done mine. um,
Next stage.
I was gonna ask, where do you find your creativity? You get so much burst of creativity all the time. Where do you find it?
Wow. Well, you know what? It's it's always been there, but this is another thing about past and present. When you don't feel that you're good enough, it's hard to bring that out. You're always questioning, is it okay? Will people like it? All of those things. But like I said, when I got to that point about 5 years ago, where I said I kind of owned who I am. I'm awesome. And I say that with humility. I'm awesome. And the gifts that I have been given to me for a purpose. And so when I get the creativity, and a lot of it comes from, I don't know, I sleep at night, things come to me. I go for a walk and things come to me. And when it's it just comes. It it just comes. And if I don't know how to do something, I will try to do it. I'll learn, find out, get me, Google out, and YouTube,
Yeah, I saw you
and
start
find things out.
knitting as well.
My,
That's it.
I should have worn my hat. Yeah. So the last time I knitted was when I was in junior school.
Wow.
I came across a little package in a shop, 1.99 for a ball of wool, a book, and a knitting needle, and I just started knitting and made
Wow.
myself a shrug, and then I made a matching hat, and now I'm making more hats with my own design. I'm adding my own little creativity to it. So it's that freedom that you get, knowing that what you do is good, that allows you to just put it out and feel no way, feel no fear. The fear's gone, I suppose. So you're able to
Wow.
express it.
So incredible, really.
Freedom is amazing. Freedom is amazing.
Well, yeah, I want to tap into your own wisdom now and ask what would you tell your younger self, or maybe the younger generation out there who are actually growing, and maybe like me when I was younger, I didn't really know what to do about myself, or how to move or navigate this world. The society would tell us you have to go to school, you have to be in a job,
Mm,
buy a house, get married,
yeah.
have children.
I'm still waiting for the married. I'm still waiting for a man. I
You
need to put
know,
that on my vision board.
and it's I think we I know we don't have enough people telling us, this is the things that I've learned. Take it or don't take it, but that's I've learned. So I wanted to ask, what would you tell your younger self, or the younger
Oh
people?
my goodness. Wow. I think the first thing I would say is that where you are right now, it's okay. Don't beat yourself up, because everything will become clear. Every journey that you go on, the good ones, the not so good ones, the heartbreaks, the setbacks, try not to beat yourself up. Try not to blame anybody. There's a bigger picture in life, and if you can look into why this is happening, what is the lesson that I need to learn, what is the biggest thing I need to learn from this, take that and don't focus on the actual event that has happened. Look for the lessons in the circumstances. And in that, especially if it's hard times, you're going to go through the emotions. You're not defined by who your emotions are. The emotions, sadness, grief, pain, all of the heartbreak, all of those things, that is part of the process of you becoming a stronger person. So don't let those negative emotions define who you are. And then you tell yourself, I'm a bad person, I'm not good. They're there to help you, to propel you into your queendom. Yeah. So yeah, just be okay with where you are. There's nothing wrong with you. It's part of life trying to teach you. So I think that would be the biggest one. Lesson. What else would I say? As you've said, and as I've said, try to do those things. Yes, there are things that we have to do. We have to go to school and things like that. But there comes a point where try to do the things that bring you joy. When you have that, when you're in that space where you can make the choices and make the decisions for your own life, do those things that bring you joy. And I think one of the other things is that a spiritual practice for me is very, very important. For me, it's meditation, it's prayer, those kind of things. For somebody else, it might be jogging, it might be a walk in the park, but it's whatever connects you to that inner peace and joy within you. It connects you, takes you inward where you can think and process things. Have something like that you can come back to. It might be just lighting a candle and sitting down, it might be reading a book. Whatever that is for you, that spiritual practice, that ritual that you do that connects you to your source, your inner being. Have that. Have that.
Great. Wow. Wherever you are, it's okay.
Yes.
Do something you enjoy and have some spiritual practice, whatever it is. Vanessa, thank you so much.
Thank you, Christelle, for having me.
It's been really good. I would have loved to have longer with you and chat. I will have to carry on this conversation offline at some point.
Yeah, we'll link up. It's been fabulous. Thank you so much,
Thank
Christelle.
you.
And what you're doing is amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.